Speaker 1, Danielle Boisse and her sidekick, Stuart Nadeau. Every decision in life has risk associated with it. Sometimes it is just the cost of going out with friends instead of catching up on lost sleep. Other times, the risk of a decision could put your whole life on the line. Danielle and Stuart have both moved across the country in their young 20s, throwing fear out the window, chasing down opportunities, and pursuing change. Their goal this morning is to help warm up the idea of embracing change in order to follow your passions and get the most out of this life. Please reference the handouts in front of you to join along and write down your personal takeaways from their message. Their speech is titled Changeaholics, and the speech time is 8 to 10 minutes. Please welcome Danielle and Stuart.
Looking at us up here together, you may think we don't have a whole lot in common.
Stuart is tall, and I am short.
Danielle's from the north, and I'm from the south.
Stuart is a twin, where he and his brother are 2 out of 5 boys, and I am the oldest of 3.
Funny enough, people told Danielle and I the same thing.
You are crazy. I don't think we're crazy, Stuart. Do you think we're crazy?
No, but we are changeaholics.
We have embraced change, pushing fear aside and moving across the country to follow our intuition when we felt something was right and everyone else seemed to feel differently.
By embracing change, we've been able to change our lives for the better.
In regards to change, there are typically 2 types of people. Let's call the first type of people the comfortables. The comfortables, they avoid risk. They're not looking to necessarily get into trouble. They prefer reliable outcomes, and they like living a simple and stable life. They're not necessarily looking to shake things up.
We'll call the other type of people changeaholics. These are people who are willing to switch things up and take risks in pursuit of a better life and new opportunities. These people are fueled by adrenaline for taking risks, and they're willing to handle the lows so that they can experience the highs.
Today, we would like to help you open up your minds and your hearts to change.
We're going to use an acronym for change. You see it on your handout. You don't have to write down everything on there. The C in change is going to be for couch surfing. No, it's not going to be a quiz at the end. Just jot down your personal takeaways from each part of the acronym. For me, couch surfing is synonymous with saving money. There's a variety of different ways to save money, and I think that one of the easiest ways, I'm sure Melissa will enjoy this one, is living below your means. For me in Wilmington, that meant shopping at the thrift store even though I could afford new clothes. That meant driving a 2001 Cadillac Eldorado even though I could afford a newer car. That meant taking on a second job on the weekends even though I could afford to take them off and hang out with my friends. By working hard and living this very frugal lifestyle, I put myself in a position where I was able to spend the last 3 months pursuing new passions.
H is for home is where you make it. I grew up in a place where I never had the feeling of home. I had a house, I had a structure that I lived in, but I never had that feeling of home. So when I was 22 and I graduated college, I packed my car from college graduation in Massachusetts and drove down here to Wilmington, North Carolina, sight unseen. I was able to truly create my own home and my own family. Many people feel like you're stuck living where your family is because you can't leave your loved ones behind. I wanted to leave my loved ones behind. I may be the exception. However, I feel like sometimes it's important to make a move for yourself. Your family doesn't want to hold you back. They want you to go create your own home, and a lot of times people are nervous to do that. I would like to promote the fact that change can really create more opportunities, and change has fulfilled my life in ways that I could never have even dreamt of as a child.
A is for assume risk. Every decision inherently has risk attached to it. Sometimes the risk is small, and other times the risk is that you could be homeless if things don't go well. When I moved across the country, I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was ready and comfortable with the fact that things could potentially all go south, and I could be put in that tough position, and I was ready to face that. Since moving out there have obviously been highs and lows, and I knew it was going to be like that when I moved. Getting across the country and getting to the new area was great. It was very exciting for me. A lot of my plans started falling apart. Had a couple of other issues come up. It was the longest I've ever been away from home, being born and raised in Wilmington, so it's the longest I was ever away, and I started to get homesick. So yeah, I hit a low point. But from that low point, I found a new level of clarity and see life with a completely different perspective that I've never had before. I shot out of that low point, and I've since enjoyed some of the highest highs that I've ever had in my life, and I'm very excited to see where else it takes me.
N is for never ignore your intuition. Since I was a child, I knew I was not meant to live in Massachusetts. A few reasons may include the cold, the snow, and the grumpy people. I just never fit in. I used to take maps to school, and I would pick cities with cool names, everywhere in the South, including California. When I was approaching college graduation, I moved to San Diego for a few weeks, and I thought that that was the place I wanted to be because it was the furthest point from Massachusetts. When I got there, it was a little too big for me, so I didn't have any money to try somewhere else. I figured I might as well just pick a place on a map, which is what I did. When I followed my intuition, because I knew all those years I was supposed to move, it was like I felt as if I was myself for the first time. And then when I continued to follow my intuition, all of these amazing things kept hitting me on the head and falling from the sky, whereas before it felt like I was just on this string of bad luck. So I'm a passionate person in general, but I'm very passionate about convincing you to always follow your intuition. It will never let you down.
G is for gaining perspective by meeting new people and seeing new places. Since the end of February, I've driven about 8,000 miles and spent countless hours behind the wheel. A lot of the miles were from driving across the country, driving from LA to Colorado, and a lot of the hours were from sitting in traffic in LA. I've seen a lot of beautiful parts of the country as I travel, the mountains of Colorado, the deserts in Utah, canyons in Arizona, a mixture of all three in California plus the ocean, and it has really opened up my eyes to how much is out there. Throughout my travels, I've met a lot of new people who have helped to change my mindset a little bit and experience new things that I would have never thought I'd enjoy. Being born and raised in an area, you tend to have a lot of the same friends. A lot of my family is still in the area, so I was still hanging out with them. And I ended up keeping a lot of the same passions over the years, even though I did add to them. By moving to California and meeting a lot of new people, seeing new places, it's opened up my eyes and made me passionate about things I would have never considered if I stayed in Wilmington.
E is for eagerly follow the direction of your passion. I'll be the first one to admit that when you don't follow your passion, you tend to go off course. When I graduated college, I was so exhausted from all the sleepless nights that I was okay with the maximum 40-hour work week and spending all of my extra time at the pool and at the beach. A few years later, I looked around and I was still poor, a slave to my student loans, and all my friends were just content with this straight line, stagnant lifestyle. When I was 24, I decided that I had to change, and my whole life spun around and did a 180. I read this book called The Passion Test. I read it 3 times. even though it seemed absolutely crazy, I had this note on my fridge that said, "Open your own business." Remember, I had no money. The only thing I owned was a dog. And I lived in an empty apartment with an 8-inch foam mattress, and that was it. Eventually, I had the opportunity, when somebody believed in me more than I believed in myself, to open my own business. It was amazing what happened when I shifted my focus from just relaxing and loving the beach and the pool and focusing on my tan lines rather than focusing on my passion. Now, for the past 5 years, I've owned my company, Port City Design Group, and this will be my most successful year yet.
As Changeaholics, we seek out opportunities to change our lives for the better. Things may not always work out, and they may not go according to plan, but we learn from our mistakes and try not to make them again.
So many people fear change. Stuart and I have become comfortable with the uncomfortable. We have followed the pursuit of our passion and embraced change. I can say, I think it's working out for us, Stuart.
Yeah. Opportunities don't wait. You have to be ready and willing at any moment to exchange who you are for who you would like to become.
What change have you been holding yourself back from?